Magandang araw! Sama-sama tayong matuto sa Teacher Sal Learning Resource Channel.
Revised K-12 Curriculum, Math 3, Quarter 3, Week 5, Number and Algebra. For day 1, illustrate and apply properties of multiplication for the 6, 7, 8, and 9 multiplication tables. 1 multiplied by any number is equal to the number, and changing the order of the numbers being multiplied does not change the product. Share your experiences during typhoons. Then, we will talk about what volunteers usually do to help, like packing relief goods for affected families. I will place 10 small objects on the table to stand for cans of sardines. This transparent bag should hold 6 cans. Imagine you are volunteers packing sardines to eco bags. Choose and count exactly 6 objects from the 10, then put them in your eco bag. After everyone is done, I will ask you some questions. How many eco bags do you have? We have 1 eco bag. How many cans of sardines are in each eco bag? There are 6 cans in each eco bag. There is 1 eco bag with 6 cans of sardines. Then, express 1 bag with 6 cans as a multiplication sentence. Let's be familiarized with these terms. Multiplication, multiplication sentence. Identity property of multiplication. Commutative property of multiplication. What if we add 1 more can to the bag? How many cans do we have now? We have 7 cans. Now, if we add 1 more can, how many cans do we have in total? We have 8 cans. Let's keep adding 1 can at a time to the eco bag until you reach 10 cans. After each addition, count the total. We will use arrays to show what is happening. As we add the cans, I will write the multiplication sentences on the board. Observe the pattern. Notice that the total number of cans increases by 1 each time we add a can, and that when we multiply by 1, the total stays the same. If you don't see the pattern, think about how the multiplication sentence changes as we add 1 can at a time. The total always matches the number we multiply by 1. What if there are 6 eco bags and each bag has 1 can of sardines? How many cans are there? Show your answer using equal groups and write the multiplication sentence. Explain your answer. The total number of cans is 6. We can get 6 by repeated addition. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 6. This can be expressed as a multiplication sentence. 6 times 1 equals 6. Multiplying 6 groups of 1 can is the same as adding 1 6 times. Both ways give a total of 6 cans. What if we keep adding bags, 1 at a time, until we have 10 bags? How many cans would there be for 7 bags? After that, figure out the number of cans for 8 bags, 9 bags, and 10 bags. We will show the answer using arrays, and I will write the multiplication sentences on the board. 6 times 1 equals 6. 7 times 1 equals 7. 8 times 1 equals 8. 9 times 1 equals 9. 10 times 1 equals 10. Illustration using arrays. Look at the multiplication sentences we got. Pay attention to what they show. Observe the pattern. You should notice that when you multiply any number by 1 or 1 by any number, the answer is always the same number. If you don't see it yet, I will guide you. This rule is called the identity property of multiplication. The identity property of multiplication says any number multiplied by 1 or 1 multiplied by any number is equal to that number. Let's look back at the multiplication sentences we had earlier. What do you observe about the order of the numbers being multiplied in the two multiplication sentences? Did the product change? The order of the numbers to be multiplied is interchanged, but the product is still the same. Is this observation also true to the other pairs of multiplication sentences? Yes, it is also true. Changing the order of the numbers you multiply does not change the answer. This rule is called the commutative property of multiplication. The commutative property of multiplication says changing the order of the numbers being multiplied does not change the product. Look at the picture on the board. Each food pack has 6 canned goods. These food packs will be given to 7 families. What is the total number of canned goods inside all the food? Take a look at the illustration. There are 42, which means 7 groups of 6 or 7 times 6 equals 42. If we change it to 7 canned goods per pack and distribute them to 6 families, will the total number of canned goods remain the same? There are 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 equals 42, which means 6 groups of 7 or 6 times 7 equals 42. 7 times 6 equals 6 times 7, and the product is 42. This shows the commutative property of multiplication. I will post multiplication sentences on cards. Some of you will pick a card and explain which multiplication property is used in the sentence you chose. Examples. What is the identity property of multiplication? Multiplying any number by 1 or multiply 1 by any number gives a product equal to that number. Example, 7 times 1 equals 7, or 1 times 7 equals 7. What is the commutative property of multiplication? Changing the order of the numbers being multiplied does not change the product. Example, 8 times 9 equals 9 times 8. Fill in the square with the missing number. The first one is done for you. Here are the expected answers. For day 2, illustrate and apply properties of multiplication for the 6, 7, 8, and 9 multiplication tables. 0 multiplied by any number is 0, and changing the grouping of the numbers being multiplied does not change the product. Let's be familiarized with these terms. Multiplication, multiplication sentence, 0 property of multiplication, associative property of multiplication, array. Leonora is helping her mother with their puto business. She is preparing the boxes for the freshly cooked puto. So far, she has finished 8 empty boxes. Leonora has 8 boxes, but there are no pieces of puto inside, any of them. How many pieces of puto are there in total? Expected answer is 0. Each box is empty, meaning there are 0 pieces of puto in each box. Express 8 groups of 0 as both a repeated addition and a multiplication sentence. A repeated addition, 0 plus 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 0 equals 0. Multiplication sentence, 8 times 0 equals 0. Leonora finished preparing 7 more boxes. Now she has 15 empty boxes in total. How many pieces of puto are there in the 15 empty boxes? The expected answer is 0. The boxes are still empty, so there are 0 pieces of puto in each box. Express 15 groups of 0 as both a repeated addition and a multiplication sentence. Now, let us consider the multiplication sentence 15 times 0 equals 0 without context. What do you think is the product of 0 times 15? The answer is 0. It is also 0 because of the commutative property of multiplication. This property states that changing the order of the numbers being multiplied does not change the product. You can apply the commutative property of multiplication to get the product. What do you observe when 0 is multiplied by any number or when a number is multiplied by 0? When 0 is multiplied by any number or when a number is multiplied by 0, the product is always 0. This property of multiplication is called the zero property of multiplication. The zero property of multiplication states that any number multiplied by 0 or 0 multiplied by any number is equal to 0. When we multiply by 0, it's like adding nothing again and again. The total pieces of puto will still be 0, no matter how many boxes you have. Now, let's look at a new situation. A customer orders 4 boxes of puto. Each box has 6 pieces of puto, arranged in 3 rows with 2 pieces in each row. How many pieces of puto did the customer order in total? How many rows are there in the box? There are 3 rows. How many pieces are in each row? There are 2 pieces in each row. How can we find the total number of puto in each box? Possible strategies: count the puto one by one, skip count by 2, multiply the number of rows by the number of puto in each row. One way to find the total number of puto in one box is to multiply the number of rows by the number of pieces in each row. 3 times 2 equals 6. Therefore, each box has 6 pieces of puto. How many boxes of puto did the customer order? The customer ordered 4 boxes of puto. How do we find the total number of puto the customer ordered using multiplication? We can multiply the number of pieces in one box by the number of boxes. Since one box contains 6 puto, we have 3 times 2 times 4. Close and open parenthesis, 3 times 2 times 4 equals 6 times 4 is equal to 24. Number of puto in each box times the number of boxes equals total number of puto. This means the customer ordered a total of 24 puto. Do you know what these curved symbols are called? They are called parentheses. These are called parentheses. They are grouping symbols that tell us which part of the problem to solve first. Here, the parentheses around 3 times 2 mean we solve this part first. How to solve the sentence step by step. First, we solve 3 times 2 equals 6. Then, 6 times 4 equals 24. Here, we have 3 boxes of puto, with 2 rows of 4 puto in each box. How do we find the total number of puto using multiplication? There are 3 boxes, each containing 2 times 4 puto. We can multiply the number of boxes by the number of puto in each box. So, we have 3 times close and open parentheses 2 times 4. The number of boxes times the number of puto in each box equals total number of puto. This means the total number of puto is 24. Solve the sentence step by step. First, we solve 2 times 4 equals 8, then 3 times 8 equals 24. What do you observe about these two sentences? Changing the grouping of the numbers being multiplied does not change the product. This property is called the associative property of multiplication. The associative property of multiplication states that changing the grouping of the numbers being multiplied does not change the product. Let's have learning activity sheet 2, zero property and associative property of multiplication. Fill in the blank with the missing number. The first one is done for you. For number 6 to 10. Here are the expected answers. What is the zero property of multiplication? Multiplying any number by 0 or multiply 0 by any number gives a product equal to 0. Example, 8 times 0 equals 0, or 0 times 8 equals 0. What is the associative property of multiplication? Changing the grouping of the numbers being multiplied does not change the product. Example, 6 times close and open parenthesis 8 times 9 equals close and open parenthesis 6 times 8 times 9. Write the multiplication sentence that corresponds to each visual representation and identify the properties being illustrated. The first one is done for you. For number 5 and 6. Here are the expected answers. For day 3, illustrate and apply properties of multiplication for the 6, 7, 8, and 9 multiplication tables. Multiplying the sum of two addends by a number is the same as the sum of the products of a number by each addend. Multiplication, multiplication sentence, distributive property of multiplication, array. Ramon put the harvested eggs from their poultry farm to a paper tray with 6 rows, placing 5 eggs in each row as shown. How can we express the total number of eggs in the tray using multiplication? Explain your answer. Here are possible answers. 1 times 30 equals 30 because there is one tray of 30 eggs. 30 times 1 equals 30 because we can have 30 groups of 1 egg. 6 times 5 equals 30 because we have 6 rows of 5 eggs. 5 times 6 equals 30 because we have 5 columns with 6 eggs. The total number of eggs is 30. Ramon's mother asked him to separate 1 dozen of eggs and place them in another tray, which can hold 12 eggs. How many eggs are in 1 dozen? There are 12 eggs in 1 dozen. Let us use counters to represent the 30 eggs in the tray. How can we separate 12 eggs from the 6 times 5 array? We can break apart the 6 times 5 array into 2 groups of columns or sub-arrays. 5 is equal to 2 plus 3 columns. Using a piece of yarn, move it vertically around the 6 times 5 array to separate 12 eggs. We can write 6 times 5 equals 6 times close and open parenthesis 2 plus 3. Now, express the number of eggs in each sub-array using multiplication. We now have 6 times 5 equals 6 times close and open parenthesis 2 plus 3. Steps taken: break one of the numbers to be multiplied as a sum of 2 numbers. 5 is equal to 2 plus 3. Multiply each addend by the other number to be multiplied and express it as a sum. Close and open parenthesis 6 times 2 plus close and open parenthesis 6 times 3. Add the resulting products from step 2 to get the product of the given multiplication sentence. 12 plus 18 is equal to 30. Situation 2. Ryan has a garden with 7 rows of tomato plants. Each row having 9 plants. To make watering and harvesting easier, he splits the 9 plants into 2 smaller groups. One group with 5 plants and another with 4 plants in each row. Let's figure out the total number of tomato plants in Ryan's garden using this new arrangement. Let's use a piece of yarn or a stick to split the array into 2 groups or sub-arrays. Alternatively, we can draw a vertical line to show how the rows are split into 2 groups. We can write 7 times 9 is equal to 7 times close and open parenthesis 5 plus 4. Now, express the number of plants in each sub-array using multiplication. Is equal to 63. How do we multiply a number by a sum of 2 addends? Multiplying a number by a sum of 2 addends is equal to the sum of the products of the number by each addend. This property is called the distributive property of multiplication. The distributive property of multiplication states that when you multiply a number by a sum, you can distribute the multiplication over the addition. The answer is equal to the sum of the products of the number by each addend. A farmer has 8 baskets of mangoes. Each basket contains 4 yellow mangoes and 3 green mangoes. Find the total number of mangoes applying the distributive property of multiplication. Here are the expected answers. The total number of mangoes is 56. What is the distributive property of multiplication? Multiplying a number by a sum is equal to the sum of the products of the number by each addend. Example, 8 times close and open parenthesis, 4 plus 3 equals close and open parenthesis, 8 times 4 plus close and open parenthesis, 8 times 3. Let's have learning activity sheet 3, distributive property of multiplication. Use the distributive property of multiplication to solve the following problems. The first one is done for you. For number 3 and 4. Here are the expected answers. For day 4, multiply numbers in expanded form without regrouping and multiply 2-digit numbers by a 1-digit number without regrouping. Multiplication is a form of repeated addition. However, using repeated addition to multiply numbers can be time-consuming. To simplify the process, one effective technique is to multiply numbers expressed in their expanded form. Complete the table. Here are the expected answers. Expanded form, multiplication, distributive property of multiplication, place value. Multiply the following numbers by expressing them in expanded form. 7 times 11, 12 times 4, 2 times 14. Visualize the process using number blocks or paper or cardboard squares and strips. Step 1. Write 11 in expanded form. 11 is equal to 10 plus 1. Use the distributive property of multiplication. Multiply 7 by each part of the expanded form, then add the results together. 7 times close and open parenthesis 10 plus 1 equals close and open parenthesis 7 times 10 plus close and open parenthesis 7 times 1 is equal to 70 plus 7 is equal to 77. For number 2. Number 3. Let's have learning activity sheet 4, multiplying numbers in expanded form without regrouping. Multiply the numbers below in expanded form. Use the number blocks to help break down the numbers. Show your solution in the space provided. The first one is done for you. For number 2 and number 3. Here are the expected answers. For number 3. Multiplication using expanded form makes it easier for them to multiply large numbers by breaking numbers into smaller parts. First, express the 2-digit number in expanded form, then multiply each part by the 1-digit number. Finally, add the results together to find the answer. Multiply the following numbers in expanded form without using number blocks. 3 times 23, 32 times 4. Here are the expected answers. There is a quicker way to multiply two-digit numbers by one-digit numbers using the vertical form. Example, multiply 3 times 23. Step 1. Arrange the numbers vertically by placing the one-digit number below the two-digit number, aligning the digits according to their place value. 23 is the multiplicand and 3 is the multiplier. Step 2. Multiply the one-digit multiplier by the ones digit of the multiplicand. 3 times 3 equals 9. Step 3. Multiply the one-digit multiplier by the tens digit of the multiplicand. 3 times 2 equals 6. Multiply 32 times 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. 4 times 3 equals 12. The answer is 128. Multiply 61 times 7. 7 times 1 equals 7. 7 times 6 equals 42. The answer is 427. How do we multiply a two-digit number by a one-digit number? We can use two methods, multiplication using the expanded form and multiplication in vertical form. Find the product. The first one is done for you. Here are the expected answers.